Hello, my name is Jan. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to store the values within your software application. In the previous tutorial, when we worked on combo boxes, add and remove items within our list, we have not programmed our software application in a way that will store the values every time we restart the software. So let me demonstrate what I mean. If I actually, we added, let's go a little revision. We added a label, a combo box, a label, remove fruit and add fruit onto our software. So when we actually press start to run the software, we have by default nothing. So we added apples, click add. Then we added oranges, add, and pears, add, and we drop down the list and we have all the fruits there. And if we actually type a product here, like fruit, pears, and click remove, the pears are removed. Now, the problem we have with this software application is the fact that the data is not stored within the software, which means that when you restart the software, all this data is removed. What do I mean? If I go to build and publish the project, and I'm just going to select, let's select that one, and open and finished. Let's run the software and install. Now, the problem I've got is I'm gonna add apples, add, oops, oranges, add. I've got the list here, but if I close the software and then go back and try to restart the software again, the list box values are gone. So, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to actually store, let's delete this, how to store these values into your software, within your software application, so when you actually restart the software, the values will always be there. Before I go ahead and show you how to do this, let's remove a couple test software applications I did. So let's remove that one. Install, okay. Do I have anything else? There is that one here. Don't need that one. Okay, let's get started. For those who actually just starting this video and you have not watched my previous video, we added two labels, a combo box, a text box. Now, the label, we put the text value, my list of fruits, and the name is LBL CMB fruits. Combo box is called CMB fruits. The next label, add a new fruit, is the text value, and the name is LBL TXT fruits, and the text box is called TXT fruits. Then I've added remove fruit, which is the text value, and the name of the button is BTN remove fruit, and I've added add fruit button, and the name of the button is BTN add fruit. So for this exercise now, what I will need to do, in fact, let's double click here so people can see the code. So on the BTN add fruit, you need to put this command line. And on the BTN remove fruit, you need to put this command line. Compose the video if you wish, and then play again. Anyway, let's continue. For this exercise, I'm gonna add two extra buttons. I'm gonna add a button that basically saves the values into my settings. So I'm just gonna put the text value here, gonna be save, and the name of this button will be BTN save. And I'm gonna also add another button here to check I'm going to call it btn check. Check the values I have on my settings. Basically, check the values I have stored. Check. I don't really need this, but for the sake of this tutorial and for you to comprehend what's going on behind the scene, we will need this. We're also going to need a list box. So I'm just going to click and drag a list box here. So the list box will display all the items within my settings. I'm going to show you in a second how to set up the settings. So what I will call this list box is LST fruits. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is go to my project. Now we added all the objects. Click on the settings, and I'm just going to create a new settings. I'm going to call it fruits. And because the settings will be stored, oops, sorry, accidentally. Because the settings will be stored within the combo box, I cannot leave it as string. I need to drop down the list and select system.collections.specialized.string collection. Now I can add some items manually, so I'm just going to click on the three dots here. And I'm just going to add apples, enter, oranges. I'm just going to leave it as it is, so click OK. So an XML file is generated, and this XML file will be exported and will always follow my project. Wherever the project will be installed, this XML file will always be there. So I'm going to go back here now. I'm going to double click on the form, because what I want to do when the form loads, I want to display on the combo box the items that are stored on the settings. So how do I do this? Let's go back to the code. When the form loads, I need to create a loop. The loop I'm going to create is a for each loop. So for each, and I'm just going to call my variable fruit. You can call it wherever you like. For each fruit in my dot settings dot fruits. Now this is the loop I have created, and every time this for each loop takes place, which means that every time the form loads, I want to actually add the values into my combo box. So I'm going to say cmb fruits dot items dot add, and then I will say fruit, the variable I just created, dot to string. Okay, so if I run the software now, let's click OK. If I run the software and drop down the list, I will be able to see the fruits added here. Now, so far so good. Let's stop it. Now, the next thing I need to do is when people add fruits into the list combo box, I want this list to be, this new data to be stored also into my settings. How do I do this? I need to double click on the save button. And what I need to do now, I need to actually make sure is clear the previous settings. So my dot settings dot fruits dot clear, otherwise I'm going to have duplication of the records. And then I will create another for each loops. So I'm going to say for each, and then I will say fruit again. Again, you can call it whatever you like. You can call it item, you can call it chocolate, you can call it boxes, you can call it wherever you like. So for each fruit in CMB fruits.items, I want my dot settings dot fruits dot add, and then I will say fruit dot to string. So this the record will be added. So let's have a look here now. Let's run it. And now, as you can see here, I've got apples and oranges. And if I add pears now, and add, I've got the fruits here, and then I click save. Now, the problem I've got here, I cannot validate before I export the project. I know the project will work, but I cannot validate. That's why we added the list box. At the moment, nothing will happen. I need to make sure before I export the project that the new record I've added is being stored on the settings. So that's what we're going to do next. So what I need to do here now, I need to double check that when I click save, all this data, the new data I've added and the old data already now exists within my settings. So to do this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click here on the check button, and then I will say lst fruits dot items dot clear. I need to make sure that everything is clear, everything previously is cleared. So now I need to display for each loop all the items are within my settings. So I'm going to create another for each loop. So I will say for each fruit, I'll call it again. Actually, in fact, I'm just going to call it item. So you can call it whatever you like. I'm just going to call it item for this at this time. So for each item in my .settings.fruits, settings.fruits, I want the list box, so lst fruits .items.add, and then I will say item dot to string. So this time the variable I didn't call it fruit, I just call it item. You can call it whatever you like. So let's run it. Because I was testing before, it will not save anything on my settings because this is the testing program, the debugging process. So I'm just going to add here. In fact, let's check what we have. At the moment, we have apples and oranges. Now, the reason why I said list fruits, lst fruits .items.clear. So if I keep clicking here, if I don't put this line of code here, it will keep giving me lines and lines and lines. Let's stop this. Let me show you. Let me demonstrate what will happen if I comment this line out. So if I go here now and click check, 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 and you see here, you can go forever, and that's not good. That's not professional. So let's remove the comment here. So we want to create a new list. Okay, so far we know that the settings contains the apples and oranges. We knew this before because this is what we did. We added here, let's stop the project. We added here 2 items, apples and oranges. Let's run the software now. Now we're going to add, we have the apples and oranges here. We are also going to add, let's check it here. We're also going to add here pears as well. So let's put pears, and then I'm going to click add, and I'm going to click, if I check, still won't show anything, but if I click save now, can you see here, I've got my pears here, and I've clicked saved. And if I check now, I know that my settings works fine, which means now that if I export the project, so if I build my project, build, publish, and finished, and run and install, at the moment I've got apples and oranges, and if I check here, I've got apples and oranges, and if I put here pears and click add and click save and click check, I've got pears. So if I close the application now and go and reopen my application, if I drop down the list, the pears are there, and if I check here, the also pears are here as well. So this is how powerful it is to work with settings in Visual Studio, and more specifically in Visual Basics. I hope you've learned something new today, and you will apply these skills to your projects. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.